Most people are using Claude Code like a basic chatbot. They open it, ask it to write a function, fix one error, explain some code, and then they close it. But that is probably less than 10% of what Claude Code can actually do. When it's properly configured, Claude Code becomes a complete digital employee, one that understands your projects, remembers your preferences, uses your tools, delegates work, and verifies everything before handing you the final result. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to use Claude Code to become dramatically more productive. And the first one is probably the most important. Number 1, customize Claude Code around your habits. Stop repeating the same instructions every single time you start a new conversation. Claude Code lets you create a file called CLAUDE.md. Think of that file as the permanent instruction manual for your project. Inside it, you explain how you like to work, which tools you use, how your folders should be organized, how files should be named, and what Claude has to verify before it calls a task finished. So if you build After Effects plugins, you could tell Claude, always preserve compatibility with After Effects 2024 and later. Never touch the licensing system without permission. After every change, check for JavaScript errors and tell me exactly which files were modified. If you make YouTube content, you define your title style, your video structure, your tone of voice, your thumbnail colors, your export format. Claude Code reads all of that the moment it starts working, which means you spend less time correcting the AI and a lot more time getting results. The goal is simple. Don't adapt yourself to Claude Code. Configure Claude Code to adapt to you. Number 2, turn your repetitive workflows into reusable skills. If you keep repeating the same multi-step process, turn it into a Claude Code skill. A skill is basically a reusable workflow that Claude activates on its own when it recognizes the right task. And you can also launch it directly with a / command. Imagine that every time you release a plugin, you have to update the version number, write a changelog, run the tests, prepare the installation files, and write the product description. Instead of explaining those steps over and over, you build a release skill. And then you just type, prepare version 3.5 for release. Claude already knows your entire procedure. You can do the same thing for reviewing code, generating YouTube metadata, analyzing customer feedback, preparing documentation, organizing project files. Anytime you catch yourself pasting the same instructions again, that's your signal. That should be a skill. Number 3, connect Claude Code to the rest of your tools. Claude Code gets seriously more powerful the moment it stops being trapped inside your terminal. With MCP, the Model Context Protocol, you connect it to external tools, databases, APIs, browsers, project management platforms, whatever you already use. So instead of copying information out of one app and pasting it into Claude, you let Claude go get what it needs. Claude can read an issue from GitHub, inspect the relevant files, implement the fix, run the tests, and prepare the pull request. You can hook it up to a browser and ask it to open your website, test a feature, inspect the console, and tell you what's broken. The productivity gain comes from deleting every tiny manual step between your idea and the final result. You describe the outcome. Claude coordinates the tools that produce it. Number 4. Use specialized agents instead of one general agent. On a big project, don't force a single Claude session to do everything. Claude Code can run specialized sub-agents, each with its own job. One agent researches the problem, another implements the solution, another tests it, and a final one reviews the work for security and quality issues. It's like having a small team instead of one employee trying to do every job in the company. And the advantage isn't just speed. It keeps every agent focused, and it stops your main conversation from drowning in information it doesn't need. So instead of saying, build this entire application, you have one agent study the existing architecture, one build the interface, one handle the backend, and one review the finished product. For tasks that don't depend on each other, you can even run several sessions in parallel using separate Git work trees so their changes never collide. That's the moment Claude Code stops feeling like an assistant and starts feeling like a full production team. Number 5, build an automatic verification loop. The last technique is to stop accepting the first result Claude hands you. Configure Claude Code to test and verify its own work automatically. With hooks, you can format files right after an edit, run a security check before certain commands, launch your tests after any code change, or get a notification when a long task finishes. On bigger projects, you can also give Claude a clear finish line, something like, keep working until every test passes and the app builds with 0 errors. And that creates a feedback loop. Claude makes a change, tests it, catches a problem, fixes it, tests again. You're not supervising every individual step anymore. You're defining the final condition that has to be met. But remember this, automation does not mean blind trust. Review the important changes, protect your sensitive information, and stay in control of which commands and which external tools Claude is allowed to touch. So if you want to become dramatically more productive with Claude Code, stop using it just to generate little pieces of code. Customize it with your permanent instructions. Turn your repetitive processes into skills. Connect it to the tools you already use. Delegate the complex projects to specialized agents, and build automatic systems that test and verify the work. The 100 times more productive part is not about typing 100 times faster. It's about removing hundreds of small decisions, repeated instructions, manual transfers, and verification steps from your day. Once you build that system, Claude Code stops being just another AI chatbot. It becomes an operating system for your work. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel, because in the next one, I'm showing you exactly how to configure Claude Code from scratch and build your first personalized AI workflow.